Hi, welcome to this week's weekly roundup. I'm here with Steve Hadcock, and we're gonna keep this short and sweet. Next week we have our big meetings coming up. Aaron has already started his discussion groups. I have bedding plants and cut flowers next week, and you're gonna be speaking at both of them.
Correct.
But we have a couple change. Well, we have one big change to make to each day of the agenda. So the big news that's come out this year is with the new labor law. Those rules were supposed to come into effect on January 1st. There has been a lawsuit just really to get clarification on some of those rules.
Correct.
Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah, and so what that means is it's a little bit in limbo right now. Both days were going to end. I was planning on ending with a panel, so if you had specific questions on making sure you were, I guess, kind of getting, what is the word I'm looking for?
Compliant?
Yes, compliant with these new rules. We were just going to have kind of a Q&A. The State Department of Labor was going to come out, but now because of this lawsuit, none of us are really sure what is going to happen. It's all in a little bit of limbo. So the state is not able to come out because they don't really have anything to say right now. We're not sure how this is going to go. So for bedding plants, we are actually going to end at 3 o'clock instead of 4. This doesn't affect the your pesticide credits at all because this was not one of the programs, one of the sessions that was approved for credit. So we still have 2 category credits. And 1 core credit that will be available. We start at 9 a.m. So you do need to get there and sign in before 9 a.m. I believe we open up between 8 and 8:30. So just make sure that when you register, we have your pesticide applicator license number. When you register online, you can also include that in your registration so I can get everything ready ahead of time. And then we'll go until 3 o'clock. So for bedding plants, it's pretty straightforward. For cut flowers, again, we're not going to have that particular panel, but I just heard from Ag and Markets yesterday. They're going to send me a packet, a little bit of information on if you want to become New York certified and grown.
Grown and certified.
Grown and certified, yep. Right. So we're going to have a little bit of information on that. I know a few cut flower growers are part of this program. For a while, there was the food safety component, and they've worked it out, of course, for cut flowers that don't need the food safety component. So they wanted to make sure you have that information about the program if you want to be able to use their logo. So that's it. Right. And then you had a couple things that you wanted.
Right. Well, on January 21st, we were having a part-time farmer tax school in 2 locations, one in Hudson Falls, one in Hudson, New York. This is something that we've been doing for 2 or 3 years now. It's geared more towards, as the name implies, smaller part-time farms that may have mixed income from non-farm and farm income. We're not trying to make you a tax practitioner or have you file your own income taxes, but it is important. We feel it's important that from a net tax management perspective that you understand parts of the tax law so that 2019 is done, so what management decisions you had for 2019 are kind of gone, but now starting out a new year, you do have, with this knowledge and information, may be able to implement, or when you're making a business management decision, kind of look at the tax implications for it as well. Also, be encouraging you if you do have a good year next year, or this year, excuse me, that part of it would be also talking about, well, periodically looking at your farm income and then what if anything is from a tax management perspective might you do to be able to lessen or your income tax liability. But from a farm perspective, all the way up to Professor Canablo at Cornell, one of the farm management professors there at Cornell, he said he himself says that paying taxes is not a bad thing. That means the business has been profitable. So people should not manage their businesses to avoid paying taxes. They should be managing it to be profitable. But not only do we cover income taxes, but we go over real property taxes for New York State residents. There's also the farmer school tax credit, and we go over some of the other tax-related sales tax and other tax-related things that are involved in with the operating a farm business in New York State. Dinner will be around 5:30, and we'll kick off around 6. And you can go to our website to register online for that. At the beginning of the year, the thing that I would kind of remind people about is that if you are thinking about hiring some seasonal employees this coming summer, and you haven't started or implemented an onboarding program yet, I would encourage you to go to the Ag Workforce Development website. They have quite a few resources listed there on the process of how you might bring on your employees. And it's critical, as critical or more so nowadays than it ever has from my perspective, from a couple of reasons. One is that New York State implemented the sexual harassment law that all employers have to follow now, and one of the steps in your onboarding is that you have to go over and share your sexual harassment policy with your employees. If you're growing and selling any kind of a raw food product, yes, you may not have to follow the Food Safety Modernization Act yet, but if you do, then you definitely have to do some training with your employees at that point. But just from a risk and a liability perspective, risk exposure perspective, it would be good at that point when you bring somebody on to do some education training on them about production, harvest, and post-harvest handling of what you're growing. So those are kind of the things that I was thinking about that we might want to, since we're still in the relatively new part of the year, to bring forward and talk to people about.
Okay. And with some of these not older issues, but the ones that you just brought up that are that we do for sure need to be thinking about those, and then we'll see what happens with this new law once this lawsuit gets figured out. The Department of Labor is very interested in setting up some trainings with us just to make sure we get all this new information out, and it's what the state wants out. The Ag Workforce Development team of course, works very closely with them, and so as that information comes out, as those workshops get figured out and scheduled, of course, we're going to keep you updated. This is something that kind of covers everybody that we work with.
Right. Just want to let people know those from my reading of what the press release is about the lawsuit and the what has been set aside for now. It's more for family members and people in supervisory positions. If for regularly paid employees on a farm, you still need to comply with the new overtime requirements. And so I would say play it safe. You can talk to Farm Bureau. I would hope or think that the Department of Labor, if you gave them a call, they would tell you for sure if you need to comply or not with the overtime ruling, with the type of employee that you have.
Okay, and I will make sure to post. The Department of Labor does have kind of a checklist, links to all of these different rules and what's going on. They do have this on their website, so I'll make sure to post that along with this video. So on YouTube, on our Facebook page, in the e-news. But yeah, this isn't just for my horticulture groups or for field crop growers. This is kind of for everyone we work with.
Exactly.
So that was just a quick update that we wanted to give. Remember, the meetings are coming up besides our meetings. Of course, remember Winter Green Up. I think it's the 12th annual Winter Green Up. That's also coming up with our educators Ashley Pierce and Albany County's Tom Gallagher. So let's see, that is coming up. Is that on
January? The last Saturday in January, I believe.
Oh, so the 25th,
right.
I believe. So I'll get links to all of our meetings. You can register online. that makes it really easy kind of for everyone. You get an email receipt, helps us get a head count because of course we have meals planned. So I'll make sure to include those links. Again, they're all up on our blog. So we hope to see you all really soon.